merchant salesman.
Aboard! All aboard! Why not? What's the matter with the credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an Annville salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Nor anybody else.
River City next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks. You can talk, you can talk. You can bicker, you can talk. You can bicker, you can talk, you can talk. Talk, bicker. You can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
I meet a fellow by the name of Hill.
Hill?
No, just a minute.
Her name's Hill. Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory.
He's a fake, and he doesn't know the territory.
What's up? He's a music man. He's a what? He's a music man. And he stands right next to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass. And the piccolo, uniforms too, with the sharp gold braid on the coat and a big red stripe hood.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandalore picks, perhaps, here and there a juice heart.
No, the fellow sells bands, boys' bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers and he plucks and he shines. And when the man dances, certain the boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certain the boys, what else? The piper pays him.
Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, we've crossed the state boundary line into Iowa.
All right, you're all through. I'll tell you more about Harold Hill. Never saw in my life, but I know this much. After he sued the town, he's giving every one of us a black guy and run out of the city limits. But why should he get run out of town on a rail? Because in order to sell fan instruments and uniforms, he has security to teach some kids how to play and form himself as the leader.
Got to be around and catch with that fellow.
Not on this trip. Not in Iowa. Not even the great Professor Hill said those Nick Bone hawk rides around here.
Aboard! All aboard!
Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think we'll have to give Iowa a try.
Don't believe I caught your name?
I don't believe I dropped it.
Couldn't tell. It is if you want to go around your chores all day.
but no one ever come to see me. Cousin Will never come, Aunt Bertha never come.
Your Aunt Bertha's dead.
She wouldn't have come anyway.
We could be cold as a falling thermometers in December if we had some better weather in July. And we're so high and starry, stand touching on the floor. We get a time to never see eye to eye. What's with you, my shirt, and a bag to go with it? If your crush should happen to really ought to give Iowa, Tom County, Iowa, to you to Des Moines, Davenport, Marshalltown, Mason City, Hancock, News, Clear Lake. Want to give Iowa a show.
There's Maddie.
Mr. Squires? Yes, I'm interested in a rig for Sunday if you could accommodate me.
And I didn't expect to see the man in hiring Rick who would play that dude role.
Gregory! Marcellus! You old son of a gun! What in the... Shh! But Greg, Professor Hill's the name, Harold Hill. But Greg, what are you doing here? Why didn't you let me know he was coming? I didn't know I was myself. Besides, how could I know you Ned up in a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big sleeper when you were in business with me. Look, too many close shaves the way you were. Besides, I got me a nice, comfortable girl. Ethel Toffelmeyer, boss's niece. Go on legitimate, huh? I knew you'd come to no good. What's the new pitch? You're not back in the van business. I heard you was in steam automobiles. I was. What happened? Somebody actually invented one. No. Now give me the lowdown here, Mars. How you gonna start the pitch? Same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance, and then my next step is to get your town out of the serious trouble it's in. But River City isn't in any trouble. Then I'll have to create some. I have to create a desperate need for a boys' band. Now you remember, what's new around here? What can I use? Nothing besides a billiards parlor, just put it into a pool table. They never had a pool table here before? Nope, just billiards. That'll do. Either you're closing your eye to a situation you don't wish to acknowledge, or you're not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friends. Right here I say, trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player, certainly mighty proud to say it, always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with you in my hand are golden. Help me cultivate a horror sense, and a cool head and a keen eye. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in the table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Well, I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around that hall? They be trying out Bebo, trying out Q-Beps, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette beans, and bragging all about how they're gonna cover up a telltale breath with sense. And by night, they leave pool hall, heading for the dance at the armory, libertine men, scarlet woman, and ragtime, shameless music that'll drag your son, your daughter, the arms of jungle animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground trouble.
Oh, yes,
right here in River City.
Right here in River City.
With a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
We've surely got trouble.
We've surely got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here.
Gotta figure out a way to keep you young once more all after school.
Our children's gonna have trouble.
Mothers of River City, heed the warning before it's too late. The moment your son leaves the house, does he re-buckle his knickerbockers below the knee?
Trouble.
Are certain words creeping into his conversations? Words like swell,
Trouble.
and so's your old man.
Trouble.
If so, my friends. Got trouble!
Oh, yes,
for a pool.
Let's dance for a pool.
We've surely got trouble.
We sure got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here.
With the T.
Without the T.
Got it rhyming with P.
That rhymes with me.
That stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
Did you drop your?
No.
Didn't I meet you in?
No.
I won't be in town in a short while.
Good. Hello, Mama.
Hello, dear.
Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Aw, who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. All right, Amaryllis, now your exercises. Do, la, re, ti, mi, a little slower. And please keep the fingers curved and nice and high if you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
If you don't mind me saying so, one of her to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Excuse me for living, but I never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with the same old comments about the momentality of River City people and taking it out much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the management lever is entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I cannot my concern that the lazy River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all those other howling Greeks.
Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
No, I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about that stranger.
What stranger?
With the suitcase, who maybe be a very last chance.
Mama, do you think I'd allow a common master now? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention.
I know all about your standards, if you don't mind me saying so. There's not a man alive who could hope to measure up to that Linda Paul Bunyan saying, Paul and Nora Webster, you can catch it for yourself. All your Irish imagination, your eye of stubbornness, and your library full of books.
Well, if that isn't the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I have a?
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear.
Is that the way to walk into a house?
Hello.
That won't do it all. I'll have a kiss for my boy. That lady over there is your sister.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where are your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you come? I would especially like it very much if you come. Winthrop?
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No, what?
No, thank you.
Now, Winthrop, you know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S, because he lisps. He's ashamed.
Now, Amaryllis, we know all about his. Well, Winthrop,
I bet he won't say it.
No, thank you. Amaryllis. Amaryllis, Amaryllis. Why does he get so mad at people just because he lisps?
It's not only because he lisps. That's just part of it, Amaryllis.
What's the other part?
Never mind that, dear. It's just that he never talks very much.
Not even you and your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do to him every night. I say goodnight to him on the evening star, but you have to do it the very second you see him, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winther. Good night. Sleep tight.
See there, darling. You have lots of time. If not Winther, there'll be somebody else.
Never. I'll end up an old maid like you.
For the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. You can put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right. It's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshands.
Now I may play.
Night, my someone, good night, my love. Sleep tight, my someone, sleep tight, my love. Our star is shining its brightest light. Now good night, my lover, good night. Sweet dreams be yours, dearest dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone, good night. Good night. Good
God members may tear and may tremble when born by the red, white, and blue.
I'm sure we're all grateful to my wife, Yolanda McKechnie, for leading the singing. As Mayor of River City, I welcome you River Cityans to the 4th of July exercises set up for the indoors here in Madison Gymnasium. Account the weather. The members of the school board will now be presenting a patriotic tableau. Oh, the members of the school board will not be presenting a patriotic tableau. Some disagreements about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Wonton Eagles of the local wigwam of Heath the Wild will present a spectacle, My Wife. in which my wife, Eulalia McKechnie, will take a leading part. What on ye?
What on ye?
What on ye?
What on ye?
I will now count to 20 in the Indian tongue. Een, teen, tuther, feather, fit.
I'm shot, George! Who shot me?
I know who did it. Tommy Jealous did it. Tommy Jealous did it. Guess who's Tommy Jealous? Tommy Jealous, I really found you.
Mrs. Shin will recover. The Payne's Fireworks Spectacular, last days of Poppy Eye, will take place providing the rain stops by 9:30.
How can it be rain? Isn't the Gazette's pretty fair? Sure did. That's why we got prepared for the storm. The Gazette is accurate most of the time. You know it, JC. It was last marathon the banking business being accurate most of the time.
Would you members of the school board stop bickering in public?
All World has said was...
Never mind.
We heard there was a pool table here in town. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Now, just a minute.
Pool table, isn't it?
Will you allow me to get on with the exercises?
We don't want any more exercises, so we get this pool table matter settled.
Let's protect your children. Resist sin and corruption. Smite that devil, keep our young boys pure. May I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with the troubled friends with the wave my hand this very minute. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize the River City Boys Band. Oh, think, my friends, how can any pool table ever hope to compete with the gold trombone? Rah, rah, rah-da-da-da-da, rah, rah. Remember, my friends, what a handful of truck players did to the famous fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, Billy, your parlor walls come tumbling down. Oh, a band will do it, my friends. Yes, I mean a boys' band. Do you hear me? I say River City's gotta have a boys' band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill's on hand. River City's gonna have a boys' band. Here's the Lord Man, Little Green Apples. That man's gonna be in uniform. Johnny, Billy, Teddy, Fred. You'll see the glitter of crashing cymbals, and you'll hear the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets. Ta-ta-da-ra! And you'll feel something akin to electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade, 110 cornets close ahead. Followed by rows and rows of finest virtuosos, the cream of very famous band. 76 trombones called the morning sun, the 110 cornets right behind. No more than 1,000 reeds springing up like wind.
mentioning my oldest girl last Sunday?
It wasn't even tagging.
Don't you contradict
It
me.
was just walking together. Jeez, oh, Pete.
You watch your phraseology. I know what you's doing, my little crazy Cena. Now you stay away from my oldest girl or you'll hear from me to who land the rails. Hill, I'll talk to you Monday morning about this band thing. Over at City Hall, 10 o'clock sharp.
Now, Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know this kid. He's tough and he's got a gang waiting outside.
Now, Constable, I'll show you how to break up a gang. Oh, young lady, oh, miss, what's your name?
Sunita, I had no idea you were beckoning me. Yes.
Do you know Tommy?
Well,
Tommy, this is Anita. Escort the young lady home by way of the candy kitchen.
yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir. You're a pretty bright young fellow, Professor, but I'm afraid you've made a couple mistakes.
Oh?
Sunita Shin, she's the mayor's oldest daughter.
Oh. What's my other mistake?
The billiard yard pool table, that belongs to Mayor Shay. We need credentials. We're the school board. Academic certificates.
Nothing of the kind.
We need letters and papers.
Make him put up a bond. What am I hearing?
Say
Ice cream.
ice cream, but I don't sing, young man. That's what you're. All right, then. Talk.
Down here. Ice cream. Talk slow. Ice cream. See? Singing is only sustained talking. Now you. Now you right here. Now you, sir. Ladies! From now on, you'll never see one of those men without the other three.
Why, Professor, you're wrong. Why, they've hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream. How can there be any Aren't we sincerely in love? We're in love. I don't suppose you live alone or anything.
No.
I have some wonderful cameras over at the hotel if you.
Mr. Hill.
Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college do they give a degree for annoying women on the streets like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that. See, I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary Conservatory, gold medal classified 5.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? And another thing, Mr. Hill. I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some of the people in this town, and I should think it's only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there that should very well give me some interesting information about you. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, Professor Hill, we're all agog, simply agog.
I'm the QB. Everyone's excited about the band. I'm Ethel Toppelmeyer.
And this is Mrs. Flowers. And of course, you made me the captain again. Our mayor's life isn't it exciting you lately? Oh, I couldn't say. Oh, no, I could not say at this time. My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh, yes, I'm reticent.
Of course, Miss Shin. I understand. But you see, part of my music plans require a committee on the dance end. No, wait. Do that again, Miss Shin. Your foot. the way you raised it just now.
Oh, well, I have a button in there that bothers and
Oh, what grace! What natural flow of rhythm. What expression of line and movements.
Mr. Hill.
You must accept the chairmanship of the Ladies' Auxiliary for the classic dance. Mustn't you, ladies?
Yes!
Eulalie, every move you make bespeaks Delos arts. Will you? Say yes, Mrs. Shin.
Eulalie McKechnie Shin. Ah, well, that is dancing. Well,
Then you accept?
yes, indeed. And I would like to say.
Thank you. And now the young lady who plays the piano, Marion Peru, I believe. We'll have to roll. She's the librarian.
Pickle and taco, chip, 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 taco, pickle and more, pickle and taco, chip, 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 taco, pickle and taco, chip, 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 taco, pickle and more, pickle and taco, chip, 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 taco, chip, 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 taco,
Dirty books.
Tosser,
Balzac.
I'll tell.
The music on my street, let me tell.
Stop! I'll tell. She made brazen overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town till she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison. Madison Picnic Park. Madison Hospital. Madison Library. That Miser Madison?
Exactly. Couldn't think you right anyway.
Well, I should say. Show off. Gave the town the library too, didn't he?
That's just it. When the man died, he left the library building to the city.
But left all the books to her. She was seen going and coming from his place. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That woman made brazen overtures with a gilt-edged guarantee. She had a golden glint in her eye and a silver voice with a counterfeit ring. We know that you will soon unfold. Chip, chip, chip. On this light is cold as steel. Here, where a woman's heart should be. Your building buddy left all the books to her. Chaucer.
Balzac.
Just a minute here, we have your credentials.
Yes, of course. I am just what you need our hotel company. Good night, ladies.
Pickle and taco, chip, 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 chip.
Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Mrs. Peru, do you realize you have the facial characteristics of cornet virtuoso?
I don't think I understand you entirely, Professor.
Well, if your son has the same firm chin and those splendid cheek muscles, by George! It's not that he could ever be really great, you understand, but...
And in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Well, you see, all the really great cornet players were Irish. Clark, Mendes, O'Klein.
But Professor, we Irish.
No. Really? That clinches it. Sign here, Miss Brew. Your boy was born to play the cornet. And of course, thank you. And that'll be $7 earnest money. Nothing more due to the first installment, payable at opening of band practice. And thank you. And of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his band uniform.
His uniform?
Hello, son. But I have a stripe? Certainly, my boy. A wide red stripe on each side. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We could barely get him to say 3 words a day to even us. Where did you say you were from?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory is my alma mater.
Why, she now.
Gary Conservatory. Gold medal class of 5. Hello, Miss Marion.
Mr. Hill,
Marion, he wants to put Winthrop in the band.
do you burst in on everyone's home like this?
Marion Peru.
We're not interested.
Well, why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father's dead. Anything else?
You'll have to excuse Marion, Professor. She's not really,
It's okay. I'm sure that at heart, she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Miss Prue.
Good day to you, Professor.
Marion Prue! Has he gone?
I hope not forever, darling. Do you ever think of your future? Gary Conservatory Gold Medal class about 5. No, darling.
Now, Mama, the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
All right, darling. All right. But you know, it's a well-known principle. If you keep flint in one drawer and steel in the other, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop, I know you're there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Scrub to give you the book I've set aside. It's the Indiana State Education Journal, 1890 through 1910. It's a big brown volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down.
Now, what are you up to at this hour of the night? Why do you need books right now?
I have a feeling the Indiana Journal may help me poke some large holes in the professor's claims.
That spellbinder Harold Hill's credentials, I sent them morning of July 4th, 1912.
Yes, George, but...
And now the whole town's turned upside down. The school board's singing up the streets and down the alleys and attending the city matters.
I found some very interesting information about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
I know all about that. In fact, that's the only thing I can ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of odd 5.
If you'll just take a little bit of time to read about the conservatory, I don't think you'll have to look any further. It's on page...
Papa, Wells Fargo wagon coming from Mexico.
The Wells Fargo wagon at this hour of the day?
Including the band instruments.
The band instruments? I want that man's credentials.
The Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Please let it be for me. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be. And one trip I took when I came home. And once I
meantime, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments, think about the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. La-di-da. La-di-da.
Well, one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some by-gad tooting out of them horns in pretty short order, or I'll see you in front of the grand jury. Now, Miss Marion, about that book.
I missed it. I had to say go, George. Okay. Sister, I never thought I'd ever see something so scrumptious as this scrumptious solid gold thing. Oh, sister! I've never seen Winthrop so happy. Thank you, Professor Hill.
My pleasure, Miss Marion.
Start her up, Mr. Washburn. Wait till you see the new steps Professor Hill taught us. Okay.
What'll it be?
The shapooping.
Shapooping! Now, a woman who kisses on the very first date is usually a hussy, but a woman who kisses on the second time out is anything but fussy. But a woman who waits till it's our turn round, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. She's the girl he's glad you found. She says shapooping, 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 the girl who's hard to get. Shapooping, 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 but you can't win her yet.
Reform school. Now get out, you wild kid.
Papa, it's capulets like you who make blood in the marketplace. Dad.
You watch your phraseology, young woman. Go home.
Mr. Mayor, I would like you to know that I'm vouching for Tommy Gillis. That boy has the confidence of every kid in town. He'll be standing in line, waiting to shake his hand by the time our band plays its first concert.
By the time your band plays its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on account of broken legs they'll get from tripping over their beards. I'll tell you some, my fine young feather young fine. Never mind. Oliver, Ewart, J.C., Olin. I want this man's references, and I want him tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's slippier than a Mississippi sturgeon.
I think Mayor Shin has behaved abominably, and I think it was wonderful of you to come to Tommy's defense.
A man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What does the poet say? The coward dies 1,000 deaths. The brave man only 500.
I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been wanting to talk to you about Winthrop's cornet.
His cornet, mother of pearl keys.
I'm sure it's fine. He tells me of some think system. He tells me if he thinks the minuet in G, then he won't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor.
Now, Miss Marion, the think system is a revolutionary method, I'll admit. But you see, I cannot discuss these things in public. If you allow me to call, when may I call?
Why, any night this week.
Taco,
silver shoes for all to see, we know that you will soon unfold a forgiving heart of purest gold, here where a woman's heart should be. Pretty princess, moving floor, golden shimmer, silver shoes, now unfold, heart of gold, here where a woman's heart should be. The professor told us to read those books, and we simply absorbed them all. Tosser, Balzac, leave the dishes. I'll do them, Mama.
You're the piano teacher in town?
Why, yes.
Then you must know about the fellow who will performing a boys' band here.
Yes.
Well, don't let you worry no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Switzerland, 2-bit thumble rigger.
Who are you?
My name's Charlie Cowell. Anvil salesman.
Mr. Cow, you're making a big mistake.
Say, you didn't see through him. He's no more professor.
Oh, I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. He's a fine director, and his scholastics...
Wait a minute. Fine director. Have you heard enough from any band before?
No, but...
But nothing, girly girl. He's never formed his band in his life, and he never will.
You'll never catch that train at the depot. You'll have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir. I got to leave word, and I see you ain't the one to leave it with.
There's your train now. Run for it.
Neither one of yous are the last of me, girly girl. Marion, dear. Who's you just talking to?
Why, Professor Hill! Mrs. Prude, top evening to you. Miss Marion.
Good evening, Professor.
Why don't you and Marion come and sit? I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on. Should we sit, as your mother said?
Why?
He did ask me to call.
Professor, is it true that you... What I'm trying to say is, I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now, where did you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Now, Miss Marion, you mustn't believe everything you hear. Besides, one even hears rumors about librarians.
I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me an assured job so Mother and Winthrop and I would have some security. Surely you don't believe.
Of course not. That's exactly what I'm saying. Why do you think people start those rumors?
Narrow-mindedness and jealousy. Mostly jealousy, I guess.
And jealousy mostly starts rumors about traveling salesmen.
It just proves to show you should never believe everything you hear, doesn't it? I mean, if you discuss these things...
Miss Marion, I'll be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. Couldn't we do it sitting down? You do sit right, you know, your knees bend and all.
We could sit on the porch steps.
Or we could sit in a large hollow log at the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Just to talk. Meet me there in 15 minutes.
Please, I just can't. Sometime. Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, my dear little librarian. Pile up enough tomorrows and you'll find you've collected but lots of empty yesterdays. I don't know about you, but I want to make this day worth remembering. Footbridge, 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama!
What?
I just told Professor Hill I'd meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Glory be in the saints to be praised, it works!
What works?
I've been using the think system on you from the parlor.
Ladies! One Grecian urn. 2 Grecian urns. And a fountain.
Stop! Listen to the man! You gobbling green grass gums! I'm talking about Harold Hill, highway and road agent, pickpocket! Pickpocket? Same thing! Ever since he's came to this town, he has your in your wallet, mister! Yours too, madam! Even yours, little lady! This won't document advice than you'll ever have time to meet! There never has been any band, there never will be any band! And if you don't have this band down like a mad dog, there won't be any more Harold Hill! He'll be on the next train out of town! Now do you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for? I want my money back.
Money back? I want that man's hide! After him! And once you find him, bring him to the schoolhouse! After him! Some guy's going around town spilling everything.
All right, Mars, get the ring.
I got it.
What time's the break go?
9:40 at the junction.
Flood isn't even 8:30 yet.
Look, you want to wordle around here and get yourself caught in a trap? You go ahead, but
Don't worry, Mars. I'll meet you at the hotel in plenty of time. Miss Marion, you're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
I meant, well, I'd say about 26 years late. Took you all this time to get to the footbridge with a fella?
If you want to know the truth, it was almost longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I guess I'm not the first to find it easier to think clearly when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now, Miss Marion, you surely don't think I've been trying to sell you anything.
No, you've given me something. That's why I decided to come.
I don't recall getting it.
Oh, yes, you have. Something beautiful.
Miss Marion, there's a lot of things you don't know about. Hey, Greg. Excuse me. Now what? Shit. Who's the salesman here? It looks like she's buying, you're selling.
Well, I had to keep her all balanced, didn't I?
Look, she's so off balance, she's like a catboat in a hurricane.
Go get the rig. Where were we?
You were just about to tell me something I don't know about you.
Well, we don't have to get into that right now, do we?
No, we don't. Or forever, for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt like doing much research lately, but she did plenty when you first came here.
Oh, about what?
About Professor Hill, Gary Conservatory, gold medal, class of Alt 5. Harold, there wasn't any class of Alt 5.
Well, there's certainly.
Because the town wasn't even built till Alt 6. I'll see you at the sociable.
You knew all this time?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came.
Hey, Greg. He's not anywhere around here. Let's go try down by the creek.
Hey, wait a minute here, son.
Leave me go. I'm not your son. Leave me go.
Not till I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. You wouldn't tell the truth anyway.
Would too.
Would not.
Would too. Tell you anything you want to know.
Can you lead a band?
No.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty, rotten crook?
Yes.
Leave me go, you big liar.
What's the matter? You wanted the truth, didn't you? No, I'm bigger than you, and you're gonna stand here and get it all, so you might as well quit wiggling. Look, there's two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a wonderful kid. I thought so from the first. That's why I wanted you in the band. Just so you quit moping around feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's a band kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, actually, the other thing isn't any of your business now that I come to think of it.
I wish you'd never come to River City.
No, you don't, Winthrop.
Sister, you believe it?
I believe everything he ever said. The way all the kids in this town walked around all summer and looked and acted, especially you. Do the parents wish you'd never come to River City? Does Mama?
Well, you do, don't you?
No, Winthrop. Now go. Harold, please.
Go on, Professor. Go on. Hurry.
I can't go in through it.
Why not?
For the first time in my life, got my foot caught in the door. Hey, Greg, they're here! That way, that way!
Go on, Professor. That way, that way. Virtue has triumphed. The great sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. If there are those who I have heard who are melting, torn, collecting feathers, I will not say them nay.
Well, surely there ought to be some of you who could forget our everlasting Iowa stubborn chip on the shoulder arrogance long enough to remember what Professor Hill was River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely some of you ought to be grateful for what he's brought to River City. And if so, I should think you'd want to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's a person in this hall who doesn't think this man Hill should be tarred and feathered, please step forward. You ladies, step back. Have you all forgotten how you bought expensive uniforms, technical instruction books, and high-priced band instruments? Have you forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your children would be taught to play in a band? Well, where's the band? Where's the band?